Meet COREtec Pro, the floor that gives you more toughness, more durability, and more performance. Thanks to a compact and waterproof SPC construction, this collection of heavy-duty vinyl floors is great for high-traffic residential or light commercial spaces. In this video, we will teach you how to install COREtec Pro in your space. Before you get started, you'll need to gather a few suggested tools: some safety glasses, a rubber hammer, a pull bar, a tapping block, a carbide-tipped blade for cutting the material, spacers, and a tape measure. And that's it. That's all the tools you need to get started on your installation. Cleaning is the first step of installing. Before laying any planks down, make sure your subfloor is clean, flat, and dry. Don't worry about making it perfect. Our floors will hide most imperfections. Refer to our installation instructions for full subfloor preparation guidelines. Once you're done cleaning and prepping, you're ready to install. We're about to demonstrate the two acceptable methods for installing COREtec Pro: angle-angle and angle-tap. Angle-angle is the preferred method when installing large format planks. For smaller planks, we recommend using the angle-tap method. We'll begin by demonstrating the angle-tap method. Begin your angle-tap installation going left to right. Leave a minimum of a 1/4 inch expansion space between your floors and the wall. You can do this by inserting spacers at ends and edges where planks meet walls. When laying your planks, make sure to have the groove edge facing you and the tongue edge facing the wall. For reference, the groove edge has a slot in it, and the tongue edge sticks out above the floor. Place your first board against the spacers on both the short and long edges of the board. Insert the short edge of the second plank at an angle and fold down until the tongue locks into the groove. Continue this process throughout your first row. When you get to your final board in your first row, you'll likely need to make a cut. Just make sure your final board is at least 8 inches. If it's not, cut the necessary length off the first plank. If it is more than 8 inches, use the piece cut off from the previous row as the first board in your second row. All boards starting and ending rows need to be at least 8 inches. Also, make sure your first board of each row is a different length than that of the previous row. Start your second board by placing the tongue of the new plank into the groove of the plank in the previous row. Install the second plank of the row by inserting the tongue of the long edge into the groove of the previous row at an angle and drop into place. Slide flooring toward the short edge of the first plank until the tongue just touches the groove. Use a rubber mallet and a tapping block to tap the long edge of the plank to ensure a tight fit. Attach a scrap piece of floor to bridge the gap between the short ends of the planks. Tap the short end of the flooring with a rubber mallet and a tapping block to lock the ends of the flooring together. Remove the bridge and continue towards the wall until installing the final flooring in the row. Continue this process throughout the rest of this row and for all subsequent rows. Once you get to your final row, measure and cut to fit. Use a pry bar to lock long edges of flooring on the final row. After your floor is installed, finish your space with coordinating trims and transitions from COREtec. We'll now be demonstrating an angle-angle installation. Most of the same rules apply. Begin your installation going left to right and leave a minimum of a 1/4 inch of expansion space between the floors and walls. Again, make sure the groove edge is facing you and the tongue edge is facing the wall. Place the second plank tight against the short end of the first plank, inserting the tongue into the groove at an angle. Fold the plank down into the lock position in a single movement. Repeat this process until the first row is complete. Just like with angle tap, ensure that your final plank of each row is at least 8 inches. Cut the necessary length off the first plank if this is not the case. Start a new row with a plank that is also at least 8 inches in length. End joints must stagger a minimum of 8 inches from one row to the next as well. Place the new plank of the new row at an angle against the plank in the previous row. Press the long edge forward against the previous row and fold down at the same time. Install the second plank of the row by inserting the short edge at a slight angle and folding down where the long edge tongue just touches the groove of the previous row. Lift the long edge and use a tapping block to engage the plank and ensure a tight fit. Repeat this process of installation until the space is complete. Finally, measure and cut the last row to fit. Use a pry bar to lock long edges of flooring on the final row. After your floor is installed, finish your space with coordinating trims and transitions from COREtec. For more detailed instructions, scan the QR code on your COREtec Pro product box or visit COREtecFloors.com. Your floor installation is finished. Now bring on the footsteps your COREtec Pro floors were made to stand up against. We'd love to see your recent COREtec Pro projects. Share them with us using #YesCOREtec. Thanks for watching.